Hey guys, Dave Norona, good morning from Maple Bay. We've actually been out on the boat in the Gulf Islands for 2 weeks now. It's been a while since we were up in Desolation. The Gulf Islands are absolutely amazing. And one tip I will tell you is lose the agenda. Because if you try to get too much in, you end up missing a lot of it. And we generally don't make a big plan. We kind of stay at a few places we like. And if we don't, there hasn't been a place we didn't like, but we're easy to move on, or if we really like it, we'll stay for a few days. We got a lot of things with the pop-up dock and foils and the sea-doo and everything, so it's nice to kind of enjoy, and there's so many places in the Gulf Island. We're in Maple Bay. We came in here last night. This is one of the things we love about boating is you just come in, we anchored, and you wake up and it's a beautiful day. The water looks amazing. All the boats, some of the new houseboats there, the houses on the water, and very cool. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the boat. This is a 24-foot Maxim, and we absolutely love it for our family. And I'll talk about a few things about going to a bigger boat, all these things that we may want to do in the future, we've talked about, but also why we love this boat. So first and foremost, when we came back with Desolation, did a big cleanup, did a lot of cool things. And then I needed to do a trim tab actuator because one had broken. So I did that, and when I went to start it, I had a problem with the starter. So I pulled it off, and it had a crack around the housing. So I took it down to Ocean Marine. That's our local marine store in Squamish. Dwayne and Andrea, and they're awesome. So Dwayne, with his experience, said, though that doesn't usually happen, let's go a little deeper. So we did it in the boat, and it turned out we had a bad ring gear. So it was missing a bunch of teeth. Not good for us because it meant the engine had to come out, but sometimes that happens. So we got the engine out, fixed that, and the compression on the boat we checked, which was amazing compression. So the engine's really good. Everything looked good there, but we did the ignition and spark plugs and wiring just to make sure that, and now literally it starts like a new boat. Like you turn the key and that's how it should start. So very cool. And one other thing we did, in Desolation, we were running out of power a lot, and it turns out we just had 2 old car batteries in there, and so we would have to start the kicker and charge it to get to move. And so what we did is we relocated the batteries from the port side, which is where everything is. We have the kicker there, the water, the motor for the lifting the engine, and then the kitchen, so that it's very left port side heavy. So we moved the batteries to the starboard side, and we put a new house battery in, and we hooked them all up. We put in an ACR, so now I have a designated start battery. What happens with these boats is after they get a little older, people do these what I call $50 fixes. They add a lot of stuff and they just wire it in, and they don't use the right sort of protocols for safety, and also if water ever gets in there and stuff. So we redid that, and I'll tell you, when I got the boat back from Dwayne, it looked like a brand new boat inside, and I cannot be happier. Just to give you an idea, we've been out 2 weeks. You might read from a recent post know that I also purchased a 100-watt solar panel on Amazon that came with, and can switch over to the control box. So it comes with a 100-watt panel in that control box, which has 2 USB, so you can charge a light or a phone or whatever in there. And it's charging right now. We've been out for 2 weeks, and we have not been on power. We've been on docks, but we haven't been on power. That solar panel has run our fridge and lights for 2 weeks. It has been amazing. So don't have to start the kicker unless we want to, or use the generator, which really we have on board for the e-foil, and that has been an amazing purchase. So that house battery that we put in new has totally helped, and we designated now a start battery, so I always have power for the start battery, and an ACR, so everything just works like it's like a new boat. It's amazing. And as they say, right, it's always nice to look at newer boats, and thinking that you get something better. But the best boat is the one you own that you fix up, because you do see the value in boats if you keep everything fixed up properly. And generally, a lot of times you fix it better than the manufacturer did. So in that case, we did this, and everything on the boat now is awesome. Now, one of the things I will say is when you get a boat, you'll always want a boat that's bigger. That's why everybody says 1 or 2 foot itis. But one of the things we love about this boat is, number one, I can trailer it. so I can load it and fix it and clean it in the driveway. It makes it very easy. It's out of the water. There's a whole other level of having your boat in the water of expense. It's sitting in salt water. You have to pull it out, so you need a crane to do so. If you don't have a trailer, a lot of the big boats you can't trailer. So you have to think about that. So your cost, you know, on a boat like this goes up not double, it can go up 4 or 5 times more for finding dock space and doing all those little things. So for me, for our family, it's just not in the cards. We love boating, but we do a lot of other things too. And it's just something to think about when you're looking into boating, is really do your homework on the size. Like, if I were to do it over again, I love this boat and I would buy this in a second, but I would look at a 29, especially if you have 2 kids, you want to look at a 29-foot boat that gives you just a little more space, especially if you have 2 kids. There's just 3 of us, so this works really well for us. We do move things around, but again, most of your time is spent outdoors. And if you watch some of the videos, I've put a shade and I've got all the pop-up dock, which actually creates the boat and makes it bigger, and we spend most of our time out on the water, not inside. It's a place just where we sleep downstairs and we cook outside. And so it's just how you do it. There's no right or wrong. Is the only thing that you do is just do it. And that's the I think the message today is, people think boats are really expensive. They're not cheap, but for what you get from them, especially where you can go, you can make a really inexpensive holiday once you have a boat. And case in point, on the Gulf Islands, we've you know, we started in Squamish and we went to Keats. We were kind of stuck there for a few days because the wind across was really high, but we spent a couple of days at Newcastle and hiking and swimming, and then we went down to Pirates Cove and Thetis Island, Montague Harbor, Salt Spring, Russell Island, which is a beautiful island. We met some friends there and we did some winging and some e-foiling and towing with the Sea-Doo. And it was just fabulous. You know, 2 weeks would cost a lot of money to go to Hawaii or do something, and it's relatively inexpensive on a boat. Of course, you need to own a boat and you need to kind of figure it out. But I just wanted to do this video to sort of show that it's, you know, it's not all rainbows, even though right now where the boat sits, I am happy I spent the money with the right people to do it properly. And now we know where the boat sits, of all little things we might have to do in the future or we want to do. One of the things that has been really great is Vancouver car wraps. I got the door wrapped with that maple wood. You might have seen the post on it. And you can see how nice it looks. Like, normally that door is clear, sort of translucent black plastic. And we had to put a towel over it because it lets lots of light in. But as you can see, they can wrap it in any, I wanted to do carbon fiber. They thought it wouldn't, it's too kind of shiny that it would show everything, and that maple just pops and looks really, really cool. But it's these little subtle things you can do to make your boat look better. But also what that does is when you shut that door, it's completely dark in the cabin, which is great for sleeping. And so just little things like that we've done. The generator on board that we have, just a Yamaha generator from How Sound. Equipment has been awesome. We use that to charge the e-foil, and we generally, if we can't get it to shore, it's quiet, but when we charge the e-foil, I charge it off the back here when we're moving, and you don't even hear it while we're driving the boat, and we can charge our electric e-foil that we have on board. And then we have the Sea-Doo, as you can see right out on the water. I talked a little bit about this before. Most people are like, want to get a tender, but the problem with a tender for this boat would be about 8 feet with a 2.9. Number one, I'd be lifting a motor around and we'd have enough more space. The Sea-Doo makes the ultimate tender. It will go anywhere. And in fact, we use it to island hop. We use it to go ashore. We use it to go for an evening cruise. And we also use it, I've got a Stinger inflatable rescue sled on the back. And then you can see it's got a tow rope right behind. So we just take the foil board and throw it on that and upside down, and then we drive out, or we go right off the boat, and you're foiling around around the water. And it's super fun. And then when you're done, you just hop up on the rescue sled, throw the foil there, and burn back. And it is another great way to get to shore. Got a little anchor for it, and it just sits off the back. And another thing I'll talk about is the tow rope. So I was unsure how I was going to tow this. You can tow a Sea-Doo, and you can tow it at literally any speed. You're literally towing it. You're not lifting it, so it just flows behind you. but you do need a shut-off valve for the exhaust. So what that is just a valve that you can shut off when you tow, so no water can backlog into the exhaust and then into the engine. And then you have to make sure you open it when you're going to drive it, because you can do just as much damage if you drive it with it closed. So what I do is wrap the key around the valve, and then you have to get it so you make sure that it's open. And but we tow it. So one thing that I've done is I initially bought this tow rope, which is just a 6-person tow tube rope from Canadian Tire, and I rigged it with a 5-foot spring line. So this is carabiner to the CD right now. When we're close, it's just off the back here, so it's just sitting here, and I can pull it in and out. And then when we tow it, we just hook it to this and we let it go out, and it sits right in the V of the wake, and it doesn't move. So it's really works extremely well. Now I did buy a toadster, which is a tow device, which is 2 bars that clip into the bottom of the swim grid and forms a V. And then for this boat, you need 1 more that goes out. And so it roughly does the same thing. However, the problem I found with the speed that we go is that because they're mounted low, the water goes on the bars and actually you feel the drag from them. So I'm gonna actually sell that. That'll suit someone who's on a lake who wants to tow from a pontoon boat or something. But it doesn't suit this purpose, and really, this is the best and cheapest way to tow your Sea-Doo or a small tender is just get a really strong line. We go off each side cleat of the boat, and then when we get close to, say, like a harbor or we're going for gas, one person just pulls one side of the rope, because we put a carabiner around it so the rope slides, and we pull just one side in, hook it here, and then the Sea-Doo will sit exactly how it is right there. And you can maneuver around a dock. If the Sea-Doo backs up and hits the side, it just literally bumps against it. It doesn't hit it or anything. And then you can fuel up, and then as you get out, we release that, and again, it sits back there. So super easy. And another great thing that has been is this rack that I got off eBay. So this rack I purchased off eBay and I installed myself, and it's pretty simple. It was pretty easy to install. I did it myself. I had installed a wake tower on my previous boat, and this one is flat. So what it does is it houses all our boards. So we've got a stand-up inflatable Kahuna stand-up board on this side, and then the Solar's on top of that. And then we've got an E-foil, lift E-foil, and then a Stinger foil board and wing. And so that's out of the way. So we have all these things that are sitting up top, because if you put them on the boat, it just takes a ton of space away from your boat, and we need all the space we need. So that has been absolutely incredible. And one of the last things I'll talk about is these clutch straps. You can see we use them for everything. This is our stand-up paddle and the brush, and our grabber here, so we can push off a boat or grab the dock. And you can see I've used it for the table, but I use them for everything. And they're just a rubber strap that basically comes apart and everything. They're super fast. The number 1 eye injury cause is bungee cords. So you don't want to use bungees. They overstretch, they snap back at you. And these, you can double them up like I have for the table, and they just work awesome. So we are loving the boat. And if you're thinking about getting a boat, just do your research, look online. There's tons of boats for sale in BC. I talked to a guy yesterday who had just redone a 1992 Sea Ray 37, and he made it brand new. So don't be shy of an older boat, as long as it's been taken care of. And spending $300 to $500 for a boat survey is worth every penny, because they'll go through all of it and they'll tell you the issues that you might have to fix. And most of the issues are really small and easy to do. Some of them you can do yourself. I tell Dwayne at Ocean Marine, I don't mind doing things, and he goes, sometimes it's just time. But if it's something like what we had with the ring gear in the end, you take it to the proper people who are going to do a great job on it. So anyway, signing off for the Gulf Islands, and hope that lets you a little bit more on what boat life is like. And what a September. It's going to be 23 degrees today, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So we're going to stay out as long as the sun's out. We'll see you out on the water.